Welcome to Fix It Home Improvement, covering projects that every homeowner should know and great products for home and garden.
Hi, I'm JC, and this is where we share weekly home improvement tips. I'm here with my co-host, Cindy.
Hello, JC.
Hi, Cindy. This week we're going to talk about replacing car tires, and we'd like to thank Joe Solers for liking and sharing the podcast. The Michelin Tire Company was founded in 1888 in France, and the company made tires for horse-drawn carriages and bicycles, and they patented one of the first removable pneumatic tires for bicycles in 1891. And before that, pneumatic tires were glued to the wheel, which was time-consuming to repair. They introduced pneumatic tires for cars in the 1890s, and they came up with the Michelin Man in 1898, and it's one of the oldest trademarks still being used. Funny, huh? In 1900, they said there were only around 3,000 cars in France. So in the early 1900s, they started publishing a series of travel guides to encourage tourism by car, so they could sell more tires. And the guide included restaurant ratings. In 1936, they started giving out stars for restaurants.
Oh, so that's where that came from?
Yeah, so a one-star Michelin rating meant it was a very good restaurant in its category. A two-star restaurant was considered excellent and worth a detour to go to this restaurant. A three-star rating meant the restaurant had exceptional cuisine and it was worth a special journey. And they're still giving out stars for restaurants.
You think they would have said, like, it's a one tire, a two tire?
Right?
How do you know when to replace your tires?
The first thing to check is the tread on your tires. The tread depth is measured from the top of the tire's rubber to the depth of the deepest groove. New tires start out with a tread depth of around 10 to 12 32nds of an inch. And as the tread wears down, you reduce the traction your tires have on the road. It increases the risk of hydroplaning on wet roads. It reduces your tire's grip on snow-covered roads, and it reduces braking effectiveness. In one study by Mercedes-Benz, a car that had tires with a tread depth of 4 32nds took 8 car lengths longer to stop than a car with 10 32nds tread depth. A car with 2 32nds tread depth took 10 car lengths more to stop than a car with 10 32nds tread depth.
Well, you wouldn't think that would matter.
Yeah, you would think as long as there's some tread,
right,
that, what would the difference be with the rubber sitting on the road?
So this must be why my dad always hassled me about my car tires. Because I never check them when I go into the car.
Right.
And he used to yell at me all the time.
Right. Smart. So a tread depth of 6 32nds is considered sufficient for good control. If you're in an area with snow, at 5 32nds, they can start to lose traction. And many tire companies recommend replacing tires at a tread depth of 4 32nds if you drive regularly on wet roads. Shallow tread reduces wet braking traction and increases your stopping distance. In most parts of the world and in many U.S. states, tires are considered legally worn out when they reach a tread depth of 2 32nds. The tires are considered unsafe to use in some conditions, and they're more susceptible to flats, punctures, and blowouts. A tread depth gauge is one of the best tools to accurately measure the tread depth, and they're pretty inexpensive.
Like how much?
I saw some for around $5.
Okay.
You can also use a quarter.
That's less than $5.
Right. So if you use a quarter, you put it head down in the tread, and if all of Washington's head is visible and the tread is touching the top of his head, you have about 4 32nds. If you put a penny into the tread and Lincoln's head touches the top of the tread, you have around 2 32nds, and you should replace the tire.
All right.
Tires sold in the U.S. have tread wear bars spaced at different points throughout your tire in the groove. When your tread wears down and it's flush with these wear bars, you only have 2 32nds of tread, and the tire should be replaced. General Motors says also if you see there's cord or fabric showing through the rubber, or if your sidewall is cracked or cut, or if there's any bulging, the tire should be replaced.
Good to know.
Age is another consideration for replacing your car tires. As rubber ages, it starts to dry out and crack, and it increases the risk of a tire blowout.
What's that?
That's when your tire loses all of its air, which can cause an accident.
Yeah. Remember when we were on the expressway and that semi was next to us and there was a huge bang and it was the tire?
Yeah, it was wild. It was very loud.
I mean, it scared me.
And then rubber flying everywhere.
Yeah.
Some manufacturers recommend replacing tires when they're over 6 years old. Car and Driver says have tires that are 6 years old inspected and replace 10-year-old tires.
Really?
Michelin Tires recommends having your tires inspected after 5 years and replace all tires when they're 10 years old based on the manufacture date. They're saying old tires can be dangerous even if the tread depth is okay.
Really?
Yeah. Since 2000, the U.S. Department of Transportation requires tires to have a DOT code. The code on your tire's sidewall will start with DOT, followed by a series of numbers and letters, and this identifies the plant where it was built and the tire's characteristics, which can be used for recalls.
That's smart.
But the last 4 numbers in this code are the week and the year that it was manufactured. So, for example, if the last 4 numbers are 3020, it was manufactured in the 30th week of 2020. I looked at the tires on your car.
Really?
And they have a code of DOT M643JAZR0614. So your tires were made in the 6th week of 2014.
So I need new tires.
You should have your tires inspected. If you're replacing your tires, you want to purchase tires that match the recommendations for your car and its style. GM says if wheels or tires are installed that are a different size than the original wheels or tires, braking, ride, handling characteristics, stability, and resistance to rollover can be affected. If your vehicle has electronic systems like anti-lock brakes, rollover airbags, traction control, electronic stability control, or all-wheel drive, the performance could be affected.
Wow.
So they say check the label on your driver's door panel or the manual for the tire size designed for your vehicle.
All right.
I looked at the label on your car, and it says the front and the rear tires should be P225/55R17H, and the cold tire pressure should be 35 psi. And the combined weight of occupants and cargo should never exceed 926 pounds. So that P225/55R17 is the key thing you want to match if you're replacing your tires. When I looked at your tires...
Why didn't you look at your tires?
I just thought of it as I was walking up. So yours are P225/55R17 95H M+S. The P means it's a tire made for passenger cars. The first 3 numbers are the tire's width from sidewall to sidewall in millimeters. And if you want to figure out inches, you would divide the millimeters by 25.4, which is 8.86 inches wide for your tires. The next 2 numbers after the slash is the aspect ratio. This is the tire's height to width ratio. 55 means it's 55% as high as it is wide. The R means it's a radial tire, which is the most popular style of tire. If there's a D, that means it has a diagonal or bias ply construction. A B means it's a belted bias ply construction. The last 2 numbers are the diameter of the wheel in inches, and this is measured on the inside of the wheel where the tire is mounted. So if you took a measurement of the outside of your wheel, it could be about an inch wider.
Okay.
The next 2 numbers on your tire, the 95, is the load index. This is the maximum weight the tire can support when it's properly inflated. 95 means it can support up to 1,521 pounds, and you can go online and search for tire load index for your tires. Most passenger car tires are between 75 and 100. 75 means it can support 852 pounds. 100 means it can support 1,764 pounds. Goodyear says never install tires with a lower rating than the factory installed tires for your car, and use the weight limit on the label on the driver's door panel for the maximum weight your car can safely handle.
Cool.
The letter after the load rating is the speed rating, and this is the maximum safe speed for a properly inflated tire. Yours, for example, is H, which means you can go up to 130 miles an hour.
Yippee.
There's a range. L, for example, means it's safe to drive up to 75 miles an hour. There's M, 81 miles an hour, N, 87, P, 93, Q, 99, R, 106, S, 112, T, 118, U, 124, H, 130, and V, 149.
How is H in there?
Yeah, it was odd. When I was looking at it, so it's STUH and then V, and I double-checked it on a couple different sites, and that's just how they have the code set up.
Why doesn't it start with A?
Yeah, really. Your tires also say M plus S.
We're learning a lot about my tires in this episode.
So that means they're rated for mud and snow. Mud and snow tires are also called all-season tires. And also on the sidewall of your tires, you have treadwear 580, traction A, and temperature A. The treadwear was established by the National Highway Traffic Safety Commission. The lower the number, the better the traction. The higher the number, the longer they last. 200 to 500 is considered medium treadwear, and it's excellent for everyday driving. It's a good balance between traction and longevity. A tire graded at 400 should last twice as long as a tire rated at 200. But rather than using this code, most manufacturers will give a tread wear warranty. For example, 65,000 mile limited tread warranty.
Okay.
The traction ratings go from AA, A, B, and C. AA is the best rating, and this measures the tire's ability to stop on wet pavement. The temperature rating is A, B, or C. A is the best, and this measures the tire's resistance to heat and its ability to dissipate heat to operate at higher speeds. And all these ratings are based on properly inflated tires.
Good to know.
Kelley Blue Book says follow the recommended inflation chart on the door frame of your car door or the manual, not the number on the tire. GM says follow the vehicle's placard for the tire's recommended inflation pressure. Underinflated tires can result in tire overloading and overheating, which can cause a blowout, premature or irregular wear, poor handling, and reduced fuel economy. Overinflated tires can cause unusual wear on the tires, poor handling, a rough ride, and damage from potholes. GM says check your tire's air pressure at least once a month, and don't forget to check the spare. They recommend rotating your tires every 7,500 miles to keep uniform wear on all tires, but check your manual or the manufacturer's recommendation for your tires. GM recommends replacing tires in sets of 4. Uniform tread on all tires will help maintain performance, and in the manual that I read out of your car, it recommends if you're only replacing 2 tires to put the new tires on the rear axle. Mixing tires of different sizes, brands, or types can cause a loss of control, resulting in a crash.
Okay.
The types of tires would be all-season, which were introduced by Goodyear in 1977. Interesting, huh? They have a good balance of traction, wear resistance, and fuel economy, and they're the most popular style of tire. Snow tires are designed for good traction on snow-covered roads and cold weather, and then in summer, you're going to replace those tires with a summer tire or an all-season tire. And summer tires are for dry climates. They have great traction, but they wear faster.
Okay.
Some top-rated tires come from Michelin, Michelin, Goodyear, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, Cooper, Continental, Continental, and Yokohama, Yokohama.
Do you have anything else to add?
When you're replacing tires, check the label on your door panel or your manual so you get the correct tire for your car.
Also, when you're at the store, make sure you're checking the date that the tire was manufactured.
Right, yeah, check the dot code.
Well, it's important. What if you're buying an old tire and you don't know it?
Right, yeah, they may not rotate their stock properly, so check the dot code.
That's what I'm saying. Let's wrap this up.
You can subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast app.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a review.
You can check out our home improvement videos on our YouTube channel, Fix It Home Improvement.
And you can subscribe to that as well.
You can download our ebooks, Home Improvement Solutions, What Every Homeowner Should Know, books 1 through 15 on Amazon.
If you enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star rating and review.
You can email us at fixitpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow Cindy on Twitter at FixItCohost. And you can follow us on Instagram, Fix It Home Improvement.
Thank you for listening.
Talk to you next week.